Hi and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. It is raining here in Oregon, so I've been forced inside to do my videos for now. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nikki Kirk, and today I'm just going to go over a couple of comments, really, because that's all they are, about retail arbitrage and scanning in store and what do the employees think and all of that. So really quick, let me just read the two comments that I'm going to share today. One was from a YouTube user, Scott. He says, how long do you awkwardly or suspiciously scan before finding something? Do you get hassled by the staff? And then I had a member of the Bolo group ask this. I am new to Amazon and doing retail arbitrage for the past 4 weeks. I am curious if scanning at the stores presents issues. Has anyone experienced being followed by Walmart security? Is scanning legal? Is retail arbitrage legal? Then, when I was checking out at the self-checkout, he was watching me. Has anyone experienced this? What do you say when people ask you why you're buying so much of one thing? So this is actually kind of a fun video to make because it's amusing, but in the beginning, this was a legit fear that I had, so I'm sure a lot of you also have this fear that you're doing something wrong or illegal. First, retail arbitrage is completely legal. You are not doing anything illegal. There's actually a Supreme Court case which says that a retailer cannot tell you that you can't sell something if you've bought it legally from that retailer. So it is completely legal, but that does not mean that some brands and retailers will make your life a little bit of a headache. So I'm sure you're aware that Target has a policy against resellers. And then there's some brands where I'm sure you heard that there's like IP complaints or they'll say it's counterfeit. And so that's why some brands are restricted on Amazon because the brand wants to protect itself. Now I totally understand both of these scenarios. Like a brand doesn't want any counterfeit issues. Like we literally just bought a battery for my Canon camera and the battery says Canon, and when I put the battery into the camera's like, does it say Canon? Because we think this is a counterfeit battery. Somehow the camera knows that. So it's things like that obviously Canon is protecting themselves. And on the store level, it makes sense. Target doesn't want someone like me coming in and buying 10 of the hot toy when literally 10 different families can get it for their kid, you know? So it makes sense on the one hand. For Target specifically, I just order online and I'll order as many as they let me. So it's usually 4 to 6, and then I place multiple orders for 6 and it works fine. So there's workarounds, but at the end of the day, like I said, while what you're doing is legal, do you really want to be fighting battles with brands and all that? So if a brand sends me a letter, I don't respond to the brand, but I do say, okay, I'm probably gonna stop selling that, or I price to move. That's just what I do. Please, please, please don't just listen to what I do on these kind of legal things. I'm just telling you my experience. That went down a little rabbit hole, but just to fill you in a little bit on that part of it. As far as scanning in Target, because they aren't reseller friendly, they also have an app though, so I could literally just be a shopper scanning in Target. And because of this, I've totally scanned in the toy aisle with employees right there. And I mean, I kind of try to hide what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm not really concerned about it. Walmart, on the other hand, is incredibly reseller friendly. In fact, if you didn't know, if you have a sales tax license or sales tax certificate or resale certificate, they are all the same thing, just like many different names. You get it from your state's Department of Revenue, and you can literally take it to the Walmart customer service desk and they will give you a little card where you are now tax exempt every time you shop at Walmart. Obviously only for your retail business. I recently got my card. I, for 3 years, did not use this card because I don't even know. If you want to see the whole video, I shared the whole process of me going through and getting it, but I wish I would have got it sooner because that was such a, don't do what I do mistake. You could be saving money and making more profit if you just get your little tax cards. So Walmart is super reseller friendly, so you have nothing to worry about. As far as the person following you around, unfortunately, there are some Walmarts that are more locked up and secure. It could be that it's in a big city. It could be they're profiling you for whatever reason. I don't know why people profile anyone. So it could be any of those things. Like I went to, I think it was in Vegas, we were at a Walmart and literally everything was locked up, like baby formula and OTC, over-the-counter medicines, cold medicines, everything you needed a key. And then when I got them, which was kind of weird because I was buying 6 of them, she had to put them in one of those other lock things and handed it to me, and then I go to the cashier and then they undo it. So there are some areas, I guess, of the country where Walmart is like this, but I have to say I've only been in a handful of them all over the US. So for the most part, that's not a really big thing at Walmart. Even still with all that, you are not doing anything wrong and Walmart is totally fine. It's just a little bit more of a hassle and time waste, I think, but whatever. So now here's the real behind the reason of the fear of like what you think other people are thinking of you. We're just hyper aware of what we're doing and of ourselves in general. And I hate to break it to you, but other people don't care about us like we like to think what they do. So it is incredibly and highly likely that the people are not even noticing you at all. Cashiers or the clerks or other customers, you might think they're noticing you or thinking you're weird, but that's just you projecting your own stuff because they probably didn't even know you're there, honestly. So don't worry about it. I get it because I had the same fears, like everyone's watching me and I'm just thinking that I'm crazy or weird or what the heck is that lady doing. Sometimes customers will, oh, are you price comparing? And I'm like, yeah, sure. To Amazon, that's what I'm doing. So it's just whatever. I mean, I get in the zone and I just keep scanning. And so when people talk to me, I'd probably, because I have a resting bitch face, don't actually look like I am being nice, but I'm just in my zone scanning. So I try to be like, oh yeah, I'm on Amazon, you know, or I really like that item or whatever. One time when I was in TJ Maxx, one of the clerks or stock people, I'm not sure what you call them, in the aisle, like restocking the beauty aisle, she was asking me what I was doing and I told her that I scanned to sell them on Amazon, and then she, which I gotta say I was a little scared. I do get scared telling people what I'm doing because I still think like I'm doing something wrong or the store's gonna kick me out, but I'll fill you in on why that's not a problem anymore. But at this time I was still nervous and I was like, oh, I'll just tell her what I'm doing. So she told me actually there's another guy who comes into that stores and he scans the watches and he will buy them and resell them on eBay or something. So they're literally, it happens all the time. At Ollie's, I was checking out and the guy asked me if my husband shops there and I was like, no, why? It was like literally the first time I've ever been to the Ollie's. And he said, oh, there's a guy who comes in there and he buys a lot of stuff and he sells them on Amazon also. So, and then he went on to tell me like what the guy buys, which is totally not what I would buy or what I was buying. So it's just, that's why I'm always saying there's something for everyone on Amazon. People source different things. I have a friend I chat with often who sells on Amazon and she doesn't sell a lot of the stuff I sell. Even though we're telling each other leads, we still are sourcing our own different things. So anyways. So if you watch that video where I do get my sales tax exempt card for Walmart, I talk about how I always still had that fear that I was doing something wrong, but I have to tell you now that I've been using my resale certificate when I'm outsourcing at TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, Ross is hit and miss. They will probably tell you they don't take it, but you can always try. Ollie's, Tuesday Morning. So now that I'm using it at all those places, and obviously the cashiers know what I'm giving them, it just makes me like, confirms that yeah, you are not doing anything wrong because the stores are used to this. Obviously people do it, like, you know, does that make sense? So that just kind of like helps me see like, yeah, obviously it's nothing to be worried about. So I have a lot more confidence when out there shopping now. And you guys, that took, I'm almost in my 4th year. So learn from me, don't wait so long, get your confidence, you're not doing anything wrong. When it comes to what the cashiers say or think when I'm buying 500 sunscreens, or really it was probably 50 sunscreens, I just go with whatever they think. So if they say, oh, you really like this product, yep. Oh, you must be having a party, yep. Oh, you have a lot of kids, yep. Like I just agree with them because they're gonna think what they're gonna think and it just makes the conversation shorter to let them know they're right. Sometimes I'll tell on my resale, it really just depends how you're feeling. And how you handle any of these situations totally depends on your personality. So I know some members of the Bolo group will like, so someone at Target was like, security kept coming up to them and talking to them. And so she just was like, well, fine, you can walk me around the store. I've got more shopping to do. So he literally like walked with her. And then I think she had him hold her bags, like carrier bags out to her car. So, I mean, it's all what you're willing to do. I am not a confrontational person, so I feel like I would be like, and then leave. But you know, if you have that personality, I mean, if security is following you around, why don't you just ask them why? I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're not doing anything wrong. So just like all things on Amazon, as you get going, you get your groove and you'll get more confidence as you go and it won't seem as awkward and you probably won't even notice other shoppers around you because you're just doing what you're doing. You're not alone that it's awkward and kind of feels weird when you're starting out. So you're not alone, but you're not doing anything wrong and there's no reason to feel awkward or weird, especially since a lot of the stores are totally fine with resellers. I'll just leave you with one of the funny things that happens to me. It's usually at Marshalls and TJ Maxx in the beauty aisle, is I'll be scanning all the different beauty products, right? And there's another customer there, and they always want to know, like, I could see them like watching me, like looking at what I'm putting back, and they'll pick up the thing, and it's like the fear of missing out. Like, I know about hot products and they kind of want to know. Sometimes they will ask me, oh, is that good? Like, what is that? And then I'm always like, oh yeah, it's good, and I'm buying them all. But sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't know, and then I just keep going. But it's always funny to me that it's happened enough that it is amusing to me that they always like, what's over there? That must be a good one. So if you have any funny stories of customers, cashiers, store clerks, whatever, feel free to comment them below, because we could all use a good laugh. And if you have any concerns about this, I hope that this just helps you, that you don't have to be concerned, you're not doing anything wrong, just continue on and find those things, because you got to keep scanning, scan everything to find the high profit items on Amazon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you right back here for another Amazon selling video.